Situated on the southern third of Africa is the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The division territory stretches from Zambia to South Africa and Angola to Mozambique and includes island nations such as Madagascar and Mauritius. Today, some 151 million people live in this division. More than 2.2 million are Seventh-day Adventist. That's a ratio of about one Adventist for every 68 people. Scottish missionary David Livingstone arrived in the southern part of Africa in 1841. Sent by the Protestant London Missionary Society, he carried the Christian message into the interior of southern Africa. At age 27, Livingstone had no idea the impact he would have on the region. More than 30 years later, Livingstone would die in Africa, found kneeling by his bed in prayer. Some 20 years after Livingstone's death, Adventist missionaries would arrive in southern Africa. In 1895, W.H. Anderson, his wife Nora, and two other American missionaries traveled for 6 weeks by ox cart from South Africa to Zimbabwe. There, they established the first permanent Adventist mission station on the continent of Africa. That mission station is now the site of Salusi University. The Andersons served for nearly 50 years in southern Africa, eventually establishing mission stations in Zambia and Angola as well. The legacy of faith and courage left by Christian missionaries like Livingstone and the Andersons lives on in the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division. For years, many of the countries have been devastated by war, civil unrest, and widespread poverty. Yet despite the physical hardships, God has blessed His work here. Adventist church membership has grown. However, there are still challenges. There are few Adventist schools, and many of the existing schools were destroyed by war, making it difficult for Adventists to get an education. Adding to the problem, there aren't enough trained Adventist teachers, so Adventist schools have had to hire non-Adventist teachers. Located just below the equator, along southwestern Africa's Atlantic coast, Angola lies between Namibia and the Democratic Republic of Congo. This Portuguese-speaking nation is rebuilding after enduring more than a quarter century of strife. In 1975, Angola gained its independence from Portugal after 400 years of colonization. War soon broke out as different political factions fought for control. Over 500,000 people were killed, and 4 million refugees suffered during the 27 years of civil war. Following the signing of a peace agreement in 2002, Angola's economy is being transformed, moving from the disorder during the Civil War to become the second fastest-growing economy in Africa. The Adventist Church in Angola struggled during the Civil War. Even though the church grew to some 300,000 members, much of the church's infrastructure was damaged. In just one region of the country, 145 church buildings were destroyed. During the war, Bongo Mission Station, where W.H. and Nora Anderson had begun Angola's Adventist work in 1924, was evacuated. In 1986, workers at the mission station were forced to flee as fighting moved into the area. Some of the mission's buildings are still standing, but are in urgent need of repair before they can be used again. Part of this quarter's 13 Sabbath offering will help rebuild Bongo Mission, including the Bongo Adventist Seminary. Before closing its doors, Bongo averaged 300 students and offered elementary school through high school and 3 years of Bible instruction. Mozambique lies along Africa's southeastern coast, just north of South Africa. Long sandy beaches and the warm Indian Ocean once made this country a vacation destination. However, years of civil unrest have left what once were lavish hotels desolate. In 1975, after nearly 5 centuries of Portuguese rule, Mozambique gained its independence. Over the next 2 decades, civil war raged on, and an ongoing drought spiraled the country into economic depression. Despite a chronic lack of resources, The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Mozambique has grown rapidly over the past 15 years. Church membership has grown from 70,000 to 200,000 members. While it's exciting to see so many new members, such rapid growth poses its own challenges. Because of the instability during the war, most people never learned to read or write, and most Adventists in Mozambique have had little or no education. With your support of the last 13th Sabbath offering to this division, the church is working to build a training school in Mozambique to educate pastors and teachers so that new believers can grow spiritually. Zambia is a landlocked nation in southern Africa, sandwiched between the Democratic Republic of Congo to the north and Mozambique to the south. It's considered by some to be one of the world's 50 poorest countries. Once a British colony, Zambia is home to some 12 million people and nearly 600,000 Adventists, a ratio of 1 Adventist for every 20 people. Yet the Adventist Church has only 1 secondary school and a handful of elementary schools in the entire country. In 2003, the Adventist Church established Zambia Adventist University in southern Zambia, some 100 miles outside of the capital of Lusaka. Already more than 800 students are studying there. The school library has some 42,000 books, but no library space to house them. Part of this quarter's 13th Sabbath offering will help provide a library for this university. This 13th Sabbath, you have an opportunity to support the Adventist Church in Southern Africa. You can help tell the world about Jesus by rebuilding Adventist schools in Angola and Zambia so young people can get the education they need to become active and contributing members of their church and society. With your support, they can learn to share a message of hope in Jesus with people in their communities. Thank you for doing your part today to share God's love with the world. And thank you for your support of the weekly mission offerings. To learn more about the Adventist Church's worldwide mission work, please visit AdventistMission.org.